NFL Live, Phil Murphy here. We're running a little 12 personnel today. Adam Schefter in studio, Louis Riddick and Booger McFarland also with us for the hour. Year 2 QBs in the spotlight. Sophomore slump avoidance is the hope in DC and Denver. In Chicago, looking for more of a take two with number 1 overall pick Caleb Williams under new head coach Ben Johnson. Chicago's the
accountability. It's like that for every position, but certainly that position you got to be able to tell them when it's good and when it's not good enough in front of their peers. And then we spent a lot of time together one-on-one as well. I thought that was some of the best things that I did when I became coordinator was the quarterback and the play caller need to see the play exactly the same. And so you don't develop that trust unless you spend a lot of time together.
So Adam, year 1 with Williams, Chicago ranked last in yards per play. They make changes on the staff. Year 2, what have they done to get the most out of their QB?
Well, Phil, you heard Ben Johnson, the new Bears head coach right there, talk about all the time that he spent with Caleb Williams this offseason trying to marry their minds together to think alike. And every single thing the Bears have done this offseason seems designed to bring the best out of Caleb Williams. They hire Ben Johnson first and foremost and surround him with an assistant coaching staff to elevate Caleb Williams. They then go out and trade for 3 different offensive linemen to go fortify a leaky offensive front to protect Caleb Williams. And then they use 2 top draft picks on a tight end from Michigan, Colston Loveland, and a wide receiver from Missouri, and Luther Burden, to give Caleb Williams even more weapons. So he's got the coaches, he's got the line, he's got the weapons. They are doing everything they can to make sure that he fulfills his potential.
Yeah, Schefter, you're right. They're doing everything they can. The one thing they can't do for him, though, is go out and put in the work. And then when it comes to game day, he's got to perform. You're right. New head coach, new coordinator, new quarterback coach, new receivers, new offensive line. They've given him the full NFL makeover when it comes to a quarterback. He has everything that any quarterback could want. Now you got to go out and you got to get it done. And you got to do it on Sundays. We can talk about minicamp and OTAs all we want to. Football is the ultimate show-me game. And the only time that he can show us is once we get into preseason and then once we get into the regular season. It's up to Caleb Williams with everything that's gone on in the organization, with everything that's happened, with the book from Seth Wickersham, with all the quotes that have come out. He's going to have to build himself up to make sure that come September, when he steps on that field for the first time, that'll be the first time, Louis, that he can show us that he's actually bought in and that he's matured as an NFL quarterback and he can go out and get it done.
Yeah, that'll be the first time he can show us that, really what he has done is he has developed the timing and rhythm with Ben Johnson and with this offense to where it just seems much more fluid for him and he has answers. And I think a lot of that comes down to really them being able to give him digestible information that he can use in real time. And the guy who you see on your screen right there running ahead of him, JT Barrett, the quarterback coach, is going to play a huge role in that because he's kind of the go-between. He's kind of the guy who can really go to Ben Johnson on behalf of Caleb Williams because he's going to spend maybe even more time with him than Ben Johnson does and tell him, hey, look, these are the things that Caleb is feeling good about. These are the things that Caleb isn't so sure about. And that happens in practice. That happens in games. That happens in meeting rooms. And I think having that relationship will allow Caleb to really hit the ground running as fast as possible. I mean, it's a whole new offense for him. So there's going to be some growing pains, but I think those 2 guys together, Ben Johnson and JT Barrett, have to work in tandem to make sure that Caleb's learning curve isn't so steep.
And it's not a terribly high bar year over year. The Bears last season, 17 points per game, 4th fewest in the NFL, and it got worse as the year went on. They ranked dead last in scoring after week 8. You juxtapose that with somebody else entering year 2, last year's Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jayden Daniels, who as a rookie showed he can compete with the best. Look at this. 75 total QBR against teams that made the playoffs. That's the highest of any rookie since that metric was introduced in 2006. Daniels will have to carry that into this season. The Commanders have the 8th hardest strength of schedule, according to ESPN Analytics. And that rookie season was after Washington had the greatest roster turnover year over year in the NFL, 2023 to 2024. Adam, they go to an NFC title game for the first time since 1991. Similar question with that we asked for Chicago. What have the Commanders done about building on last season?
And a similar answer to what the Bears have done in Chicago with Caleb Williams, because this is the advantage that these teams with great young rookie quarterbacks have. They're on rookie contracts. So you can go out and spend money that other teams can't. The Commanders can go out and trade for Deebo Samuel and afford his $20 million price tag without any issues. They can go out and trade for Laramie Tunsil at left tackle without any issues about affording a new deal, talking to him about reworking his contract. The Commanders know that there's a window. We saw them at the trade deadline last year when Jayden Daniels played as well as he did. Go out and trade for Marshawn Lattimore because he has sped up the timeline and the expectations for this franchise. So they have been able to be aggressive and go out and surround him with as much talent as they can, no matter the price.
Yeah, I mean, really, Adam, what you're talking about is they're trying to make sure that he doesn't have any kind of regression, that doesn't take any kind of step back. And that's what everyone wants to talk about, right? When you have a rookie who comes in the league and takes it by storm the way he did, people are going, well, they have film on him now, so he's going to automatically regress. And I just don't see it that way. And I think there's three keys to that. One, obviously, you got to do everything you can to keep the roster healthy around him and not have things to start breaking down and people not available for him. You do that, you're well on your way. Impactful additions. I mean, you talked about it, Adam. Having a guy like Deebo Samuel, Laramie Tunsil in the fold now, those are huge, huge additions. The drafting of Josh Connerly from Oregon. This offensive line should be real solid. They should be much more physical up front. The running game, and not just Jayden Daniels as far as the running game is concerned, should be much more impactful this year and take some pressure off of him. And then, the continuity of the coaching staff, I mean, that's just huge as well. Cliff Kingsbury coming back. Now, it isn't about, Cliff going on and getting the head coaching job. Jayden has to learn a whole new language, kind of like what Caleb Williams has to do. So a lot of things are stacking up and adding up to Jayden being able to hopefully take it to a whole nother level. Because I'll tell you what, he is the last person I'm worried about in this whole thing. He'll do his part. You just want to make sure everyone around him does their part, and then it's off to the races.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And in the NFL and in football in general, there's an old saying that you make your biggest jump from year one to year two as far as the speed of the game slows down, as far as your ability to know what to expect, how to expect it, when to expect it. And we're talking about him after his rookie year. Think about that, guys. A 71 total QBR last year as a rookie. So the sky's the ceiling this year. We're expecting big things. And I think his ability to play so calm and so patient and so poised last year is going to be taken to another level. And I think that's the thing that has everyone in Washington excited. You juxtapose that to what's going on in Pittsburgh, where they have no idea who their quarterback is and everything's in disarray. Everything in Washington is in place, and now the enthusiasm and the excitement is starting to build there because they know as long as he stays healthy and everybody around him does their part, he makes that next jump. We're not just talking about a team that can get into the playoffs. You're talking about a team that could have one of the elite quarterbacks in the National Football League. And when you have one of those guys, that gives you an opportunity to win a championship. That's the difference when you have a quarterback that can do what he did as a rookie. And now the game actually slows down his second year. I'm excited to watch him because I know how it was for me, my rookie year to my second year. It was like reading English to Chinese. Like I understood it. I didn't have to get a translator. I knew exactly what was going on, and I can't wait to watch this young man.
Yeah, sign of the times, Bug. We're talking about Washington being a model NFL franchise. You're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, not comparing to the Commanders. This is the type of universe that we're now living in. Whoever thought that the Commanders would be an example for all, but it just goes to show you how much change has happened in Washington under new ownership, new coaching, new front office, and the quarterback, Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, you hit that home run at the quarterback position, and that stat on screen bears repeating. 4th in QBR last season as a rookie. Top 3, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. That's decent company. How about the rest of that 2024 QB class? 6 guys drafted top 12, Shefty. What's the biggest thing for Bo Nix entering year 2 in Denver?
Again, we're talking about all these quarterbacks adjusting to the second year. Booger's talking about the jump they make. And Bo Nix, a student of the game who already has married his thinking along the lines of Sharpe, is expected to take that jump. They also have added to their offense. They also should be better there. And Bo Nix should take the next step in his evolution. A couple of people that are on that team, new to the organization, said to me this week, Bo Nix is better than they thought.
That's pretty big, man. And I'll tell you what, down in Atlanta, they're going to be expecting Michael Penix to be even better than they thought as well. And he's another one of those guys who, although last year he's just 1-2 in his starts last year, they're going to expect him to take a jump this year. And I think, again, where does that jump come from? Obviously, it comes with being in another year in the system led by Zach Robinson. It's about him being able to already know what his players need to do and what everyone's doing on his side of the ball, but being able to decipher defenses quicker, play faster, play on time, play in rhythm, like all young quarterbacks.
And we talked about last year, the quarterback that had maybe the most advantageous situation was J.J. McCarthy. Well, Sam Darnold took that. Now J.J. gets his turn with Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson and maybe the best play caller in football in KOC, the head coach, Kevin O'Connell. So I understand there are going to be mistakes because essentially this is his rookie season. But if you look at everything that he has around him, if he just goes out and he's the ultimate game manager, he should be able to equal what Sam Darnold did last year. And if that's the case, with what they did on defense with those two defensive tackles they brought in, Minnesota's going to be